Friendlyjordies Halloween special. Before, we've got a juicy pod for you. Before we get on to that, Jordan, I think you have something to say.
Yes, I do. Maybe get there. There we go.
You look like you have something.
This is just as triumphant as last week. At least
You're
we
looking
now have audio this time. And I would like to take this rare opportunity on a podcast that is an audio medium to inform the viewers that this episode is sponsored by Pilot.
Ooh!
Thank you so much for sponsoring us. We'll get into more on that subject later.
You're going to speak in the mic, though. That's going to also
So still no audio. Well, we try.
Yeah. Enjoy
Look,
the part.
It's sponsored by Pilot, and we are legitimately very happy about that.
Yeah.
I know I am. I don't know what you guys think about it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
Hard
thankful
penises.
Great.
Thick, illustrious hair.
What's to hate?
Yeah.
The whole package.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
No, we're very
Good for
stoked.
them.
And it's a spooky edition. So spooky sex time. And everyone
Yeah.
knows you get down and jiggy.
Unfortunately, skeletons don't have penises. But
But everyone knows that around Halloween
jack-o'-lanterns?
time you get a little frisky. At least I do when I see those little jack-o'-lanterns. I'm like,
Halloween parties.
stick
Yeah.
some kind of candle in there.
exactly. So yeah, we're very
Sick.
stoked to have you. It's exciting. It's actually very exciting because it's like, we want to get out there, experience the world. We've basically been in a dark cave with our Twitch followers throughout our illustrious podcast career. It's time to open the windows and observe the world. And there's other things in the world like pilot pills,
Gummies
sushi,
that grow your hair back. Yeah.
that TikTok. Did you know what that is? It's a kind of it's
Miss,
what
are you going to start
Didn't know
taking the
about
gummies?
I've been eating the ones that.
Listerine.
Oh,
Yeah, I ate. What are they? The collagen ones? It's like
Yep.
for your nails and shit. They taste like lollies.
Awesome. That's really good to know.
Yeah,
As we all know, Mislav didn't have a beard beforehand, so
exactly.
it really works.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ali, he's been lying this whole time. He is basically bald as a cancer patient, unless he has
Hey, I tell you one thing. As soon as if I notice a receding hairline, I'd be the
I'm
first
getting
one to be taking
gummies.
those pills.
I do like the fact that it is a gummy, sincerely.
Yeah.
I do really like that. Because
Yeah.
you're never going to remember to swallow pills.
No.
But if there's just candy out the front of a doctor's shop,
Yeah.
that's the only thing that you're going to listen to the doctor about. There's minty there.
Exactly. They're lollies. They're better than Allen's. Just don't buy Allen's lollies. Just get these lollies.
Yeah, they don't grow your hair back.
That's an advantage.
It's such a disadvantage. What do they taste like? I'm having one now.
Have one. One's open, so have the open one. They taste.
Hey, and if you want to have them, use Jordy's 20 promo code.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Geordie 20.
Geordie
OS.
20, and you
And you get $20 off.
20% off, isn't it? Oh, that's probably the same.
That's pretty much the same thing.
You save $20.
I don't know how much you cash.
And
get
you have
him already.
great sex.
And and apparently our dear friend Minnie was saying that the youngsters, they even need a bit of help with the. So it's like it's not what.
Yeah,
it
if
used
you
to
need
be.
it, then
They are gummy bears.
Yeah, Chuck, let's all have
They
one.
taste better than gummy bears.
Send it this way.
is this for the receding
This is
hairline?
the first thing we've
No,
tried
this
on
is-
this
this
pod
is for,
ever
like,
that isn't
this is-
excruciatingly hot.
This is for yeah, it is.
It is.
Balding lollies.
This tastes awesome.
Mm.
Have the entire bottle.
yeah, exactly.
Anally ingested.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's it. Now,
But
what's
yeah.
our first segment?
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us on
Perfect.
this spooky edition.
Hey, Jordan, I've got the first segment that we have is,
They're really yum.
have you heard about, I read this. I first read about this project. This is called, this is a proposed, what's the project called?
The project.
Anyways, it's a wind farm project. They're basically setting
Well, at
up,
least they diversify.
they're setting up windmills on the Australian coast in the Hunter region, but like a few kilometers into the coast. They're going to set up like these wind farms that are supposed to power close to 3 million households.
Yeah.
They're
What happens when the wind stops?
Well, I think
ever heard of birds dying?
they've designated this particular area as like very suitable for it.
Yeah, well,
So you're
Alice
likely.
Springs.
I'll believe it when I see it, Ali. But yeah.
Anyways, it seems like a really cool project. Chris Bowen is pretty. He's saying it's pretty promising. By 2030, we should see the results of it. They're doing some studies on how to like keep the environmental loss to a bare minimum environmental protection agencies largely have been in support of it because it obviously moves away from
Because it's
fossil
pretty
fuels.
pro-environment.
Yeah, they're saying as long as, you make sure that we can like sort of keep the residents had some issues when they thought that they'll be able to see the windmills from the shore, but then like it's been moved further away, so you won't even be able to see it.
Is this
And
an,
how many
however-
submissions are they going to get about turbine sickness?
what's that?
In the Hunter.
Wait, what the hell is that?
It's a made-up phenomenon.
What is
It's
it?
a weird conspiracy theory.
Oh
that
my
they're like,
God. There's so
I
many.
had a wind turbine on my property and I got a cold. It's like, dude, you didn't get the vaccine when COVID was happening because you thought that was a scam. Now when there's something here that, like, dude, I don't
Checks
know
out.
if this is...
Checks
it's
out.
not a Wuhan lab, okay? It's not going to do anything.
Can you
Either
imagine
way,
if in
Peter
it
Dutton
turns
is
out to be
calling
true in like 20 years? They're just like, it's your pandemic.
What do you think? Made in China.
Peter,
Damn, are you on the Andrew Bolt unofficial Facebook page
Look,
too?
I
are
will
you?
be. I know
Fan
you
page?
are one of their top commenters. He's got the little
Gus
star next. Is he?
Yeah.
On the Andrew Bolt
Official
fan page.
Yeah, I saw it. I was just like, well, I didn't know that existed. You know?
God, how many people on the Andrew Bolt fan page look exactly like Gus or exactly like Gus with a wig to signify that they're
hey,
Anyway,
we'll
sorry,
move
go
on
on.
to that. But Peter Dutton is calling it a big scandal. He's chucking at Trump. He's saying, "But what about all the birds that are gonna die?"
Can we
Still going down that route.
Can we
He's-
clear
he's
that
going
up?
down- he's
can
going
we,
down.
Can we clear up the birds thing? Because I have seen photos of dead birds next to them, next to the windmill. So what's the go? Can you clear this
I
up once
wouldn't
and
be
for all?
surprised if that was some American conservative
No, putting
that
a bird-
shot a bird and then put it next to it.
No, just forgot.
You see?
Just forgot, shot it, and
I'm
then went
just
to
clearing
get
the
it.
space.
Like they shot it, went to pick it up. It was next to the turbine. They're like, "Oh my god!"
The damn turbine.
And there's bullets in these turbines that are kicking out bullets too. No, but
This
there's
is clean took out a chicken flag. I'm gonna believe it when I leave.
So do you really? Are the numbers so low that it's irrelevant to talk about?
No, it's not irrelevant to talk about.
Right.
Here's the difference, though. It's like, dude, okay, then why the fuck aren't we getting rid of aeroplanes if you care so much about fucking
Yeah.
birds getting sucked into?
Wait a second. How many
turbines?
birds die from airplanes?
Heaps all the time. Like, dude, I
Really?
guarantee you, every single flight that we've ever gone through, there's been. If you were there, you probably hear this. Did you hear something? No. Happens all the time, dude. Like, it's such a stupid argument.
Yeah, it's like
It's such a dumb argument. It's like, yes, sorry about
No.
this. Did you know that everything that human beings do has an environmental
okay.
impact?
Is it an equally ridiculous argument to say stop driving cars because you might kill kangaroos?
Yeah,
Well,
no, I
that's-
think it is like less ridiculous.
Yeah,
than that.
well,
It would
yeah.
kill nowhere near as many as them.
That's true,
And the
because-
fact
yeah.
that they're always saying it kills bald eagles. I swear to God, bald eagles don't fly that low. It's probably killed one that was like, mentally handicapped one.
And
That's like, well,
definitely-
there's a tree. I'll just plant a nest on it.
And let's be real, they should be called pilot birds.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Is that in the
I
curriculum?
don't know if that's.
Yeah, is that in the curriculum?
that out.
Don't make
Possibly.
jokes about. That's probably the fourth point of like, don't mention windmills and pilot, or you will be destroyed straight away.
No, but like okay,
But
Peter
yeah,
Dutton
as
also,
we all know, it clearly creates baldness. All right?
Bald eagle. Thank you very much.
aside from the birds, which he has an issue with, he also saying that the construction of this is going to be devastating for the oceans.
Why? Why?
Well,
The
'cause you
libs
have
Is
to, like,
blocking their view.
No,
you
because
have to put concrete and shit.
the libs suddenly
you
care.
didn't create
The libs suddenly
The
care about.
liberals, the ones that gutted every fucking environmental regulation in the country, all of a sudden care about a small bit of concrete miles away from the ocean.
Okay, well, but here's the thing. Peter Dutton isn't just saying this. He has an alternative. He's saying we're wasting energy and we're killing the environment. Instead, we should have heaps of
Coal.
Thermal nuclear plants.
Yeah, of course.
Always.
There it is.
It's always the nuclear.
Every time.
There's a lot of people.
They really don't have an energy plan, do they? This is what happened when the Liberals were in last time. Didn't they have like 27 different energy plans? Because they were just like, oh, fuck, we've pissed off the Minerals Council. Oh, no, now we've pissed off the Business Council. Just juggling all these stupid, just out every time. Just like, this one doesn't have any words in it. Just like, shit, we'll go to plan 26 then. And then they just kept doing that.
What,
And then
just
every
a
time they
blank-
always said, oh, well, we care about nuclear. We'll do nuclear at some. Well, you were in for fucking 10 years.
Yeah.
You're in for 10 years. You could have one nuclear plant halfway up and running if you really care. It's just, this is what these new kids need to understand. When they're saying that is a complete smokescreen. They're just saying it so that they can continue pumping out coal, saying, yeah, we got a plant. 2050's ages away.
Apparently, there's no legitimate proposal of what to do with the nuclear waste.
Nah.
Dude,
It's always just running on Bob Hawke's idea from the 80s. I don't know, just chuck it in the desert somewhere.
Yeah.
Where?
Where?
You know, just, it's a big.
I mean,
whatever.
it is a big desert, but it still can't be like the most sound environmental policy to have like nuclear waste barrels in like Alice Springs. It just can't.
Yeah.
Have it
unless-
across green dirt on your
Giant
way to
thorny
Uluru.
devils just becoming like Goliath or whatever it is.
Unless
Japanese.
it literally becomes like the size of the state, in which case it can just be a mad freak tourist attraction. Then go for it. But it's like go big or go home.
But guys, are we seriously saying that we would prefer dead birds over nuclear waste?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah, okay.
That's it. That would have far less of an environmental impact. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, no,
Just
that's
chuck
true.
it out there. I'm sure no birds will be nesting within the fucking 3,000 kilometer radius that it blows out to and starts giving them two-headed babies.
Yeah, I've been like I'm on board with Jordan's fear mongering of nuclear. Like he's got me on board. I'm like, and I kind of feel like the Simpsons did get it right.
Is this the new 2030/2050 battle line? Nuclear versus renewable? Is that
No,
where
it's always been that. That's just, they use it as a talking point. They just say, oh, nuclear, and then don't do anything towards it anyway. So
Yeah.
even if you are one of those cunts in the science party that seem to think that they've got the right idea because it sounds technological, they're not doing, no one's doing anything about it because everyone knows it's a farce. Everyone knows it's too expensive. Everyone knows that regardless of how many nuclear-funded talking points you can chuck at it, it is environmentally devastating to do it, let alone just like digging it up. Man, I really want to do something about Olympic Dam. I really do,
What's
but I
that?
just cannot find the right in of somebody who's going to be a whistleblower on it. But Olympic Dam is one of the places where they dig up nuclear uranium,
Right.
and then they've just got a dam there where they just chuck all the waste
No.
into. And then, as always,
Olympic
this is the
Park
same thing every
swimming
time.
pool.
It's really safe because it's out there in the middle of nowhere. You know, no one except for several indigenous tribes that have abnormally a large amount of cancer for some reason. But anyway, it's all safe. And, oh yeah, we
Jesus.
forgot to drain it, and it had a big wet season, and it just all flooded over. Well,
No.
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
you
You don't live out there. That's fine.
Fuck. Wait
do
a
that
sec.
shit all the time.
And then it's just like, wait a second, a wrench going up, zoning permits. Right. Well, you will be living there in the next few years, but it should be settled by then. It should be settled by then.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Now that's out of urban sprawl.
But isn't America building a shit ton?
No, they always say this. They always say they're
Biden-
building a shit ton.
They're not. Biden's
No,
very.
and then they've always got that idea of like, oh, we're going to make small reactors that are safe for some reason because it's, even though, you have like one, I can't remember what it was. I think it's like if you shred up a dollar bill into a million pieces and ingested one of them and
He's a
that little
madman.
piece was plutonium, you'd fucking die.
Fuck.
Like just a small amount of nuclear energy is still fucking
Yeah.
lethal as shit.
Yeah.
But also, we don't care about like nuclear waste from multiple locations as opposed to just one. It's you need to meet the energy demand. There's gonna be a certain amount of waste if you go smaller or bigger.
Yeah, there's always going to
Doesn't
be
make a
waste.
difference.
And then they
Yeah.
always just have this argument of, oh, one day we'll come up with a way to figure it out. Well, you've been saying that since the 70s, eggheads. Where is it?
Yeah.
It's the same thing as your fusion idea. Since the 70s, oh, we're 5 years away from developing. It's the same with AI. We're always these tech nerds on the internet are the most annoying, insufferable people on earth. Everything's always 5 years away.
That's one thing I
There's always-
will. That is one feather in the cap that I will say against Joe Rogan is that he's like very on board. I'd be like, Fukushima was just old and badly built. The technology's amazing now.
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
that's why Trump approved a bunch of nuclear plants that they didn't build anyway, but like they just built it with the same safety default
Really?
problems that they had in Fukushima. It's going to be totally safe.
shit.
Why? Because we're building it on a different fault line. Which is still what they do. Some of the plans that they had for American nuclear plants that like were approved in the Trump administration. But again, approved is very different to actually building it. It's
Right.
just something that they just go, yeah. Because they have the same shitty talking point there. And then a lot of those were built On fucking fault lines.
Really?
Well, like, not built, but like the approval was just like, yeah, just chuck it there.
Why?
I've got a question. Imagine if today Albo, like the Liberals get in again, right? And for the next 10 years, what do you think they're trying to do? Are they going to like fulfill the 2050 commitment by going nuclear, or is nuclear just a talking point to punch your holes in?
Just a talking point.
So what are they
Just
going
a
to do?
talking
Okay,
point.
they come into power again tomorrow. They have to they've agreed to 2050 net neutrality. What's their plan? Are they just going to like not do it and then be like, whoops?
Yeah, that's it. Exactly like they did with the 2020 plan. They said, yeah, we'll increase it by 5%. Oh, it went up 1%. Oh, well, we'll set another date. We'll get this one, guys, even though carbon emissions are going up.
Politics, am I right?
It's insane. And then this is exactly what they're doing in Queensland with the Green Jobs and Energy Plan, which is incredible. Go back and watch the podcast about it. I'm going to be doing a big video about it. I'm going to be pushing a lot because there is a big conspiracy to get rid of Queensland Labor that is pushed by coal in Queensland because they're pissed off that they have to pay 3 cents more in tax, right? And so
the Barramundi people are pissed off too. The fishers.
it's all part of the same conspiracy.
No.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes. I'll get to that in a
Okay.
second, but this is exactly what the LNP in Queensland are always saying. We support Labor's green jobs and energy transition. How are you going to pay for it? Well, we won't be doing it by raising revenue on coal. So how are you going to pay for it? Scene. No answer. No answer. None. So they don't. And then, of course, it's just always that. It's like, we support it, but we don't support taxing our own resources because we're idiots and nuclear power. It's the same shitty talking points everywhere. But that fishing thing that you were talking about, I started looking into that.
Oh, really?
This is what's freaking me out because everyone's saying no one cares because everyone likes the positive idea of the Green Jobs and Energy Plan. That's very popular amongst the population. Coal is just flooding Queensland television with ads about how it's destroying investment and jobs. No one cares. Not effective. What is effective is that they have clearly, because I was always thinking about this, why is there so much concerted advertising, quote-unquote grassroots groups up along the Great Barrier Reef talking about how the Great Barrier Reef is fine. And then I was saying it has to do something to do with the big fertilizer. But then I was like, the fertilizer just doesn't even make that much money. Where is this all coming from? It is the coal industry. They are absolutely, I can guarantee you, I'm saying it now, having no proof whatsoever, because I know that this is how they operate. They just pump the IPA, which is the Liberal Party's think tank, with a bunch of money. They go out, they do all these micro-targeted campaigns. So it's a death of 1,000 cuts. So no one cares about, they like the idea of their coal being taxed, but they don't like the idea of the average fisherman getting screwed over because they dare have to throw back small fish. You know, they're all going out of business, guys. This is the end. Fish that you cannot sell on the market anyway. They you know, and probably, let's be honest, won't get caught by the authorities regardless. But the idea that they might have to pay a fine of $50 is going to put them out.
Hey, the cost of living is going up. 50.
Hey, you always need bait.
Yeah.
You always need bait.
You said it. Hey, they got two.
They're literally not thinking about the small fry, are they?
Damn.
It's all the big stuff for them. It's never the small
Small
things.
stuff. That's what we live off. Not really. We do like the big stuff. That's what we live off. And so that's what's happening there. And so they're doing fishing, they're doing fertilizers, they're doing the crime spree. You look at it, the IPA is funding a bunch of these bullshit campaigns along the coast. I'm going to have to get someone to sit there and just disseminate all of them because it is definitely big coal funding all of this shit.
Yeah.
And Queensland Labor will go out. It's exactly what happened to Kevin Rudd in 2010. Exactly what happened. They are organising a coup. They're getting rid of a competent government because how dare the Queensland government ask for a small amount of their huge profits on coal to build an industry for them in the future that is going to benefit them anyway because, guys, use your massive profits to invest in fucking hydrogen and renewable farms. Just move into that business.
It's not that crazy.
So selfish.
Hey, speaking of Kevin Rudd, I have a Kevin Rudd story. One of my someone I know, one of my friends, they've moved to the U.S. because his wife's studying over there, some shit. So they went to, I guess, the embassy for some event or some shit. And so my friend, he's He's Sri Lankan Australian, but he was born here and shit, so he has a thick Aussie accent. He was wearing shorts. He rocks up. Kevin Rudd looks at his shorts and says, "Oh, Matt, you're wearing shorts? Well, if I had knees like those, I'd be wearing shorts too."
Nice.
And he walks away.
Classic Rudd.
Classic.
To which point, it's okay. So this friend of mine, he thinks that Kevin Rudd generally thought his knees were really good looking,
Yeah.
which is why he said it. And then there's the opposing view, which is like he was making fun of your knees.
Yeah.
Because there's no way Kevin Rudd looks
Yeah,
at your scrawny
yeah,
brown legs and says,
Yeah.
"Ooh, those are
Excellent
nice."
knees.
Yeah. No one is saying that to anyone, even if they're a model. They're like, pish weak knees. That was a payout.
That was
Knees
a
are
payout,
always.
right?
Who has good knees?
Yeah, I definitely don't. That's for sure.
I think
Well,
in the
right
day and
now,
age
definitely.
where we live in the long tail and there is a porn fetish for everything on earth, still haven't seen
Serious.
knees. Not once. I've seen every other part of the human body.
Yeah, knees would be a weird one. Just sort of like, oh yeah, move it to the right there.
Shift it
Look
over.
at that
like how
fluid.
the cartilage is
Yeah. I was sent a porn the other day. I hope my mum's not
You
watching.
get sent porn.
Just one friend who we don't have to name, and this is a new one for me. I don't know what's wrong with people. Pissing in the ass. That's a new one.
What? How?
Damn, there is a man that has watched a lot of porn. His dick doesn't get hard very easily.
Imagine
anymore.
saying piss in
Of
my
course.
ass. Piss
How
in
do
my.
you even do that?
Oh,
From
there's-
a distance.
No. It's-
Oh,
No,
okay.
you just make a black hole and go into
he's
the
got
void.
it.
Yeah,
He's
that's how
got
you
it.
do it.
And
That's how it's done.
It's
Mystery
definitely
solved.
the demise of humanity in a single scene. I think there was a song about it too. It was like, "Let me piss in your ass," some shit like that.
Yeah,
You
Forest
renege-
All Special.
patent pending.
Please make that song.
It's been made.
May I piss in your ass?
It's been. I'll find. Dude, you know what? I will find the song next week and I'll bring it because it's been made. There was a song. Because there's some website, I think there's a website now where they're crossing over the two loves of porn and comedy. So like there's people that are just like,
Yeah, have
yeah,
you
might as
seen-
well be entertained
There's
while
not
I'm
even that.
coming.
Have you seen those podcasts? So chicks would appear on a podcast. They'll have a full-on conversation like it's Joe Rogan, and then have sex.
Yeah, I have seen that. I have seen that. There's some guy.
That's your thing now, yeah?
There was some guy. No, I mean, look. This is the thing. When you get older, you are kind of like, tell me, what
Your
was the
life
economic
story.
situation of your part of Orange County? But that's the only way you can get hard as a 30-year-old. You're like, tell me about your family, and then you can wake up.
Yeah,
That's what
it's-
happens.
it's true.
So they've taken it to the next level now. It's like an hour-long thing. They're like full, like. Sophisticated conversation, no real innuendo, and then they just start taking their pants off. Like, yeah, come on. It's wrong though. It's like,
so
where are we
fucked.
going?
What is
I
that?
know. It's like, where are we? What is the end game here?
Used to be a
Well, I
lonely
mean-
countess or some
The end
fantasy
game we
involved,
know
but now guys
Is
just-
jizz on the face. That's always the end game.
Yeah, that's the end game, but maybe it's piss in the ass. That's what I'm saying.
they've upped the ante.
Yeah.
Do you need to get in on that shit? It's insane.
Isn't it incredible that is just such a combination of men online. They're two great loves.
Yes.
The things that they watch endlessly.
Yeah.
Finally, together at last. Isn't that incredible?
It's insane. The Stig.
I'm surprised that they haven't thought of it sooner.
The Stig.
I think this is the perfect time to bring up our sponsors, don't
Yes.
Okay, all right. I don't know
Stig
if
just-
this is the perfect time.
Dude,
but
the Stig
let's
just
do
sent
it.
me a thing saying this is the song. Leck mich im Arsch. German for lick me in the arse.
Of course
Well,
it was
that's
the
licking,
Germans.
not pissing.
Yeah, this is different, the Stig. That's not it. This song was a lot less
All
sophisticated.
right, let's do the Jordan. Go
On
for
that
it.
note,
It's time to talk about Mislav's favourite topic, dicks.
hey,
I cannot believe that this is the ad read.
I mean, I
talked
kind
about
of
sex
just
already.
proved it though. Yeah. Jesus.
I hope that Pilot's happy with us too.
They're not
Riding off
gonna
the
be.
coattails of that
They're
one.
not
But,
gonna be ready for that table to be clear next time around.
Because we'll be using their great products and refurbishing them with new products.
Yes, of course. Make hard easy and give our partners a treat in the bedroom if you struggle with busting early.
Damn.
I don't think that the guy sending the piss has that problem, but, or getting it up at the opportune time. That sounds more his speed. Chat to Pilot about what is the right fit for you. They have a team of medical professionals to support their patients throughout their journey. Pilot, how nice is this? Has given us the code Geordie20, all caps.
In the mic.
Not caps for the 20 though, because I think that's if I can look at this correctly, I think that would make it a exclamation mark and an @ that would be strange because it's to signify that you get $20 off your first order. And as we just tasted them, even if you're not balding, I just think we've done a good treat.
Take
really
the chance. Take the chance.
Hey, I tell
Better
you
be
one thing.
safe than sorry.
I would have appreciated that $20 discount when I got it for exactly that reason once.
What?
True story.
What
Yeah.
happened? Tell us. Wait, which was the
This was when I was single, and I was, let's just say, having some issues with the timings.
Elaborate.
The times they were changing or...
The famous.
Times that
Go
I
on.
was coming early. That was
Damn. Hey, listen, I
You're
said it
running
last
out of
week.
time.
I said it last week. In my early 20s, it was a problem for sure.
Yeah, no, and it was a
Yeah.
problem, and like particularly it becomes.
We didn't
I
have
don't
that.
know. I don't know if this was the case for you, but it's more of a problem when it's like, different partners kind of situation.
Yeah, it was just general for me, but yeah.
Anyway, so it becomes easier when you get experience. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I did the whole thing with no discount.
Yeah.
I spoke to the health professional.
Did you really?
It didn't take a long time, and then I got mailed, like pills.
No
Yeah.
way.
And I took the pills.
Yeah.
And I think it was better.
Yeah, but
Free
they were,
Willy.
I think it was better.
but they were nowhere near as good as Pilot. In fact,
No,
screw that
I'm talking
company.
about Pilot. This is me
Oh,
approaching Pilot.
Yes.
Yes,
Well,
yes,
they
of
were the
course.
best pills.
No, but
They're
like-
the
Well, you
best.
made the right choice, Ali.
We
Let
don't.
me clear.
And thank you for landing on one of the grenades so that we could give so much of a discount by giving them full price, which gave them the
Exactly.
capital to
However,
advertise.
very quickly did I actually get into a relationship, which means that the partner was the same, and then this problem becomes less and less an issue for me. So hence,
Why don't you? Because they've also got ones for when you can't get it up. So
Yeah. There's no
well, that one
just-
I
you're covered
luckily
either
haven't
way.
had an issue with yet. So maybe I'll hit them up when I get there.
yes,
But yeah, so I did it once, and I think it worked. I didn't sort of take it long enough to fully understand the effects of it.
a
But
rousing
yes.
review.
You were a lab rat, not a lab monkey.
yeah, but like I think it worked. It was a good night.
A rousing review.
Well, we'll link Pilot in the show notes, folks. So look in the description if you are interested in that. See what I've been
Spooky.
very interested in this week, Ali.
Please let it be Israel.
That
and
TikTok that I
Palestine.
wasn't allowed you to look at. Oh, you want to talk about that little
Uh,
thing, do you?
Okay. How about
I have
if while
far
we're
more
on
interest
TikTok?
in
Okay, so let's do
much
that.
more relevant things
Let's-
to talk about.
let's-
I want to know what you were going to say.
What?
What were you going to say?
No. Do that. The TikTok that you sent me. Let's react to it. Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now, you have probably, like everyone else on Earth, already seen this.
You have. I would say you have.
I'm
Dude, he's-
sure
he's
he
the
has. He's
prime-
probably the
he's the prime
first guy to be like, "Have you guys checked this?"
He's
out?"
the Prime Minister of Pakistan.
Okay. Well,
of
so
course.
we've got a few things that we have to react to. So let's start with that, Jordan.
Oh, I
Okay,
love
well,
it.
we'll start with that one. But Ali, you are going to have to be the official adjudicator for this because I showed this to Mislav and he said, I've already seen it. And I said, I think that this man has won the internet. There's nothing that you can make that is
I've
ever
s-
going to beat this.
I
I've
haven't
seen-
seen this video. I
Dude,
tell
I've
you that
seen
much.
various of his.
All
He's
right,
made lots of videos.
Let me
We've
let
all
me.
seen it, but watch it one more time because it's just so brilliant. Oh, there's no volume.
They're supposed
I
to
mean,
be.
you
No,
don't.
no, you need the volume. You need the fucking volume.
That's it.
No, that's. I'm sorry. You are playing it.
Is it up? It's not up, Ali. Pull up the Bluetooth.
It is. It's not supposed to be the Bluetooth.
Well, to be honest, do we need it? Like, dude, it's just dig.
It's the music that bangs it.
Oh shit! No. Log into TikTok. Every single account. We'll troubleshoot the passwords.
Oh, no volume.
I
Oh, well,
don't know
that's
where the
great.
volume is.
What's happening? This is as shit as I was.
Yeah,
Okay, how about this? Let me just see if other
We
videos
are.
are working.
people are listening to
Oh,
this.
sorry.
They are. They are.
What?
And paying. No, not paying.
Yeah, there's
hell
no
is-
volume.
Damn.
Jesus Christ, I don't know where the vote. Okay, look, I guess we'll have to come back to this.
We'll come back.
All right, just watch it, and then I'll just try and do a cappella version of it.
All right, okay.
Yeah. It'll be the next best thing.
Go back. Put it on full screen. Thank you for bearing with us.
All right.
It's a shovel. You know what, dude? Sometimes I don't see the genius in your thought process. It's the best thing on the internet.
Thank you.
And nothing will be beat. Didn't even need music for me.
Oh,
It's so good.
what a glorious day. Well, in your opinions, Null Void Ali. I mean, look, I just wanted you to come in and confirm that I wasn't crazy because Mislav was saying, I'm done with him. It's the same thing every time. And all I'm saying is like, dude, you know, antibiotics is the same thing every time.
And they're important.
And they're amazing.
Very important.
Yeah,
they save lives.
Changed the world.
Yeah.
Like that fat Turkish farmer that looks a lot. You want to know what Yilmaz looks like? I'm pretty sure that's that man. That's what his singing career didn't go off well, but his belly dancing
Just
did.
let himself go.
How does his dummy do that?
I don't know. It's
How does he make it? That?
There's some people's bellies that have that strange, like his doesn't go boo straight out. It's got like a different
A wave.
diameter, and it's just got that beef. Yeah, it's very lucky.
Dude, he's an athlete.
Yeah,
He is an athlete.
Isn't it weird that being a
He's
fat
an athlete, and
shit?
he's on a special diet.
You think it's crazy being a fat shit? Like, is he rich?
He'd have to
Probably
be at this
now.
point.
He's one of the
But
most
he's
famous
probably like
people.
third world rich.
Yeah, like 10 grand in the bank account. Is that what you mean?
But it's just that every time now. Now he's branching out. It's not just food. I saw the other day some
What now?
Turkish millionaire comes up in a crap car and he's just like, no. And then like a big sports car comes in and he goes, it's just, I don't know what's so I think it's just ethnics get it right, and this is something that we really have to emulate from the Near East, which is that they've got it. They've got humour down pat.
Oh, yeah.
It's just this. Do you get it? He's fat.
You can't improve on
That's
that.
the joke.
You can't improve on it. That's what I was saying to you. I was like, this is why I feel like, to a degree, studying, just one more hit. Studying comedy is kind of a waste of time, because it's like all the rules go out the window when that guy's going, yes, that's the king. Out.
And it has an extra layer to us, which is that Turkey is just a really funny country. Like, how do people seriously listen to that music at the club and not laugh?
Yeah, I mean,
they're enjoying, they're vibing it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just so. It's really funny that my concept of the world is pretty much the same as an 18th century man's, that I cannot fathom a culture that is more different than Turkey.
Really?
It just feels so exotic
I
and
kind of
foreign
know.
to me.
I mean, it's a fair call.
Hey, look, we've got a few more reacts to do, and we've got more segments.
With no sound?
Can we? No, this time I'll make it work. I'll make it work.
Damn.
This time it's gonna work. So.
Well, in the meantime,
No. Check this out.
Let's see if it works. If it's what I think you're playing. This was something that got sent to me. You didn't watch last time, but to be honest, if there's no sound, it's not that important.
Okay.
Somebody sent me.
I feel this one.
That's chopsticks in his face.
So we're in agreement. So much art. That was.
That was.
Dude, I'm pretty sure that was just the pod. I don't think he did anything.
It was an improvement. That was created by GraceFrick. She just sent that to me, and I was like, "This is
you're a genius.
hilarious!
You're a
Like,
genius.
it's just insane." I'm like, "That was the pod," and this is the first episode of the sponsored pod by Pilot.
I
And
know it was such a bad one. To
It was.
start
It
with.
was. I mean, look, you gotta love us. Like, we're at least we're honest.
Worth every penny.
We're genuine. There's no fucking around. Like, dude, it's so good.
many scenes missing.
So many scenes missing. Just quite casually trying to find out what the issue is.
Silent
You know why I love it?
podcast.
You know why I love this podcast? It is the exact opposite of like any, syndicated radio show where you can hear the fear of death in the radio host's voice. Even when they're laughing, they're just like, "Hey, nothing here is remotely making me laugh. I've practiced this for 10 years. And if I stop fake laughing at this terrible joke and segment, there's a small, I won't be fired, but it's just always in the back of my head." It's like,
Yeah.
we're on the exact opposite scale of that.
That's so good.
And I love it.
Yeah,
Don't you
me
think?
too.
It's so-
That's radio at its finest when people,
yeah.
they
American Rosso
have
had it.
contempt for the fact that
American
they're on
Rosso
radio.
had it.
Yes.
I don't know if Kyle doesn't give a shit. Like,
Colin
it's like,
Beck.
No way
he
that
does,
man
he does
cares.
not give a shit. Like, look, as someone on the pod
Alan
that has
Jones
no
is so-
financial,
Is an inconvenience to that man.
yeah, as someone on the pod with no vested interest in how this pod goes, I say we're the best podcast in the country, maybe the world. All right, next segment.
You know, the
Hey,
other
hey,
day.
before next
the
segment-
other day, I heard
shit.
Kyle get off radio like 2 hours after he's supposed to. Yeah, it was like 11 a.m. He was like, "Gordy wants to get on air. Go away, Gordy. You're annoying me." And then he comes back half an hour later, just plays songs that he likes, and he's like, "Remember this one?
Tattoo.
Yeah. Everyone's saying this is boring. Shut up." And then
Anthony
he just
Kalea
goes-
did
and
never
then he
good
just
enough
finishes
run.
on this. He just goes, "Anyway, I need to do a shit. Let's stop." It's like 500,000 people listening.
He's gonna become the next Fidel Castro. he used to do that shit apparently.
good. So good.
Hey, Miss, before so good, you need to explain yourself with this
Oh,
picture.
hell yeah. Yeah.
What's going on here? When did this happen?
Huduska.
And who looks more like a staunch cunt?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's all I want to know is I was asking Jordan, is that just give me this, boys. Tell me I could be one of his lackeys. It's like, yeah, I let this fucking cunt drive the getaway car when I did one hit. He wasn't that good, but like whatever.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Thank you.
Just give me another
Where'd you-
man, please.
Okay, so this is
You look like one of those cunts that has the.
I know. So this is me leaving the doctors because if anyone's playing at home, fell off my bike just when I came back from Europe in like, I fancy a spot of road riding. Smashed my knee, smashed into a car, poured cordial all over it. It's infected and fractured. So it's fucked. So I have to go to the doctors every fucking day. So this is me this morning at like 9 a.m. leaving the doctors, and I'm walking out and I just see Spanian walking towards me. It was kind of in a daze. And I didn't. He was like on the move, so I didn't say.
Always on the move.
Oh, he was just He's just a hustler, and I was just like, not an amazing story, but I was like, dude, and then he was just walking by. I was like, can I have a selfie? He's like, yeah. And then I was like, sick. And he gave me a selfie, and then he was just like, yeah, sick. And then was walking away, and I went, hey, I work for Jordan. And then he goes like, barely looking at me. So he's just not talking towards me, facing away. He goes, who? As doesn't stop walking. I go, Friendlyjordies. And he goes, oh yeah. And just keeps walking.
Appropriate response.
What a grateful man for a guy that gave him 100,000 subs.
Yeah, I know.
He's so nice about that. Yeah.
But yeah, like, and then one guy was walking
Dude, I had
past.
the opposite reaction when I saw Dave Hughes and told him exactly that same thing. He was like, "Oh yeah, he likes me. Everything's all right."
Oh, really?
He was basically afraid that you're gonna like go
Expose him.
Expose Dave Hughes. Is
For
he
what?
a lesbian female?
The beard would suggest not. You don't know with growth hormones these days.
He says you grew up in a coal mine.
I'm going to go pants him while he's on stage.
He'd love it.
Time I'll laugh.
Yeah. He said he grew up in a coal mine, but we found out it was a lard coal mine. They did lard as well. Unbelievable. Pathetic. But yeah, no, that was it. But dude, that guy is not. I mean, Jordan knows this obviously a lot more than me, but that guy's not playing a character. Like he's a staunch hustler, and like, I'm trying to figure out his personality. It's probably just prison. He's hustling, or he's just got ADD. It's probably a rich, and he's, heavy drugs, whatever he was on. But, you wouldn't...
He's not on drugs. He's sober.
No, but was back in the day. Like his life, you can tell the life he led and the kind of person he was. If I didn't know him from TV, as I told Jordan, he would be a very scary man. I would not be walking up to him and
let's
like,
be
oi!
honest, you were still scared anyway.
I kind of
It's
wasn't,
really
though.
weird,
There was this warm... I was just like, nah. Like, even if he rolled me, I'd be like, just take it. Yeah, man, for sure, take it.
Yeah, happy to support the channel.
You're funny, cunt.
Yeah, I don't know. I
See,
enjoyed
this
it.
is the thing that really annoys me about Spanian is that he has two
Yeah.
audiences on lock.
Yes.
He has people that Mislav looks like, which is just methadone addicts, right? Like, so they all just like, look up to you,
Methadone
man.
addicts and Methodists.
Yeah, Methodist probably as well.
Methodist
because it's like,
methadone.
it'd be very good to get him on board with our message.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So he's got them on lock, and they look up to him as he's the biggest hero of my life.
Yeah.
And then he's also got the fact that he is literally a walking meme.
Yes.
In a suburb that is no longer his anymore, but
Yeah.
was. So he's this relic of a past when the inner west used to be cunts like Spaniards.
Yeah.
But now he's the only one that can afford to live there anymore.
Yeah.
So he's just walking around being like, I refuse to leave. Partially because I'm scared of every other suburb, because
Yeah.
I'm like
I've
from
talked
bad
shit.
experience. I've
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
bad shit about 2207.
Yeah.
But also because Frango's is here.
I'm sick of all this chat food, man. Let's eat some real food. Let's get some frangos.
That's what he was doing. That's what he's doing right there. So he is an addict, and he is just at the front being like, what do you mean it's fucking 9 o'clock, let me the fucking other one. Bro, I'm losing it.
Yeah,
So
there is something about when he says, my name is Spanian, I am from the housing commissions of Waterloo.
He is, though.
Yeah, I know he is, but like Waterloo to me is like,
Well,
oh,
now.
you're a rich
Yeah, it's
cunt.
just a bunch of
But dude.
Asian chicks that have very rich parents in
Yes.
Hong Kong that walk around in pajamas at 3 p.m.
But dude, when
and good on them.
but when
Yeah, good on them. It's just like,
but when we
Spanian
were
doesn't fit there anymore.
but when we
Spanian
were
is-
in high school, it was rough. Still, by then it was still rough.
Ish.
Roughish, but I remember getting off at Redfern once in high school and just being like, it was intense.
Yeah, but that was getting relegated to just that little Gaza strip of Russia.
It's the
Roughness, you know? Like everywhere else was Israel.
Holy shit, that's such a good metaphor. That's
Wasn't
a
it?
genius metaphor. Holy shit, Ali.
Hey,
Well,
on that note, can we talk about Israel
Good segue,
and
yeah,
Palestine?
yeah.
Well, the question is, can we talk about it without getting cancelled?
Yes.
Because I would really like to continue this pilot gravy.
No,
train.
no, we can't.
No, all right.
Because-
Well, it was a good run. 2 episodes.
Hey,
you
that's
very
a
much for your
record.
time, pilot.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. But,
$20 discount. Geordie 20.
What do you take it? Well, get it while it still lasts.
Wait, have you read the news today? So
I have not.
Bibi has rejected. Bibi has rejected a peace deal.
Oh,
and he
shit.
is
I'm
going
sorry.
ahead.
Just Ali, come on. How much more do you like that man, knowing that his nickname is Bibi?
I mean, there is something charming about his name. I will give you that. But he
Isn't
isn't.
it?
He is a pretty.
And Netanyahu is just a fun word to say.
That's yeah.
Sounds like you're at a
that-
hoedown.
that
Yeah.
because you can do something.
Kanye was
insane.
right, man. Remember
Netanyahu.
he got the Yahoo and Alex Jones? Fuck.
Yeah. So the ground invasion
well,
is
Kanye
happening.
was right about more than just that. But
Visionary.
a true visionary, yeah.
Everything he said
Everything
was
he said
spot
is
on.
spot on.
Fuck. Well, now we're
Thanks,
done.
pilot. Yeah.
So a ground invasion is happening, even though
It
around
is?
120 countries at the United Nations
Hey,
signed for a declaration.
Australia didn't.
Australia abstained.
What does that? Does that mean just didn't answer?
Just then
Australia abstaining means we are America's lackey. That's what we should have just written in on our ballot.
Right.
abstaining means that I don't agree with it, but I am too powerless to vote for Israel, so I'm just gonna like.
You know-
stay
Why
out of
can't
it.
there should be no abstaining, because abstaining is just a no. It's just a pussy
Guess
no.
guess who said no? Guess who said no, invade.
America.
And?
Yeah, but a funnier one.
A funnier one than that.
Israel?
No, not obviously, but no. Think something closer to home.
Fiji.
Fiji.
Our home, our blood.
Our blood.
Croatia.
Croatia said no.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
They're
Still bad blood.
They are
Yeah.
still dirty
Still fighting
about
the good fight.
Serbia and Turkey. They are dirty.
Yeah. You know what I'd really like to know? How did Greece vote?
That's a good question. Oh, let's get the thing up. It's like I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
find
we'll
it.
just get it on
We
your
can
phone.
get it on your
Anyway,
computer because
so
it's right there.
anyways,
And
it
like-
doesn't matter because the
Yeah.
invasion is happening anyways, and
Really?
tanks are rolling in.
Shit.
And here's where I think I'm gonna like sort of move away from all the moral arguments over here because those are being made everywhere on TikTok, Instagram, and everything.
So
let-
Everyone's an expert.
Let's talk about what the game plan is and what the effects of this could be.
Sure.
So if the whole idea is that Israel is saying that we're going to go in with this invasion, we're going to dismantle, kill, and destroy all the infrastructure that Hamas has, essentially move Hamas out of the picture by killing them, and then when we're left with a Gaza Strip free of Hamas, we're going to either we're going to get the Palestinian territories government, like the Fatah government, to form a government there, and then essentially move Gaza away from Israel altogether. Essentially not have anything to do with the food. And
Yeah.
Who was it? Did you see which
Yeah,
one?
Greece voted against it.
Of course. Who else? It was like Indonesia, right? No, not Indonesia. It was like Singapore.
This only has EFG. Oh, no, wait. I can get the whole list out.
Sorry
here.
to
One
interrupt.
sec. Sorry, Ali.
yeah.
Go
Well,
on.
I mean,
It
okay.
is interesting to see who voted.
It's a huge minority that said no. But,
I know, like,
Oh, no, Greece abstained. Sorry.
Greece abstaining.
Cyprus abstained as well. Jesus, they're good sports.
Who voted for it?
everyone.
Oh,
Most
no,
of the-
who voted? Sorry,
Yeah,
against it?
who voted against it? Go on.
This will surprise you, but Israel voted against.
Oh my!
Israel,
stop the
US.
podcast.
Who else?
Papua New Guinea voted against. God, they're cheap to buy off. Aren't they? Tonga. Yeah, all these POV ass countries.
What?
And then Austria, for some reason, be like, no, we don't have any Nazis.
Shit.
Yeah, like that's why. It's just overcompensation, isn't it?
Overcompensation.
Germany.
Wait a second. Are you saying which ones? I'm confused. Which ones are
Yeah,
saying?
Austria voted against.
As in, like-
Fiji voted against.
As in Fiji saying like invade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gotcha. Austria, Fiji, shit.
Hungary, no surprises there.
Yeah.
Marshall Islands.
Don't know where
Why
that
do
is.
you even get a vote?
Don't know
Come
where that
on.
is. Marshall.
Micronesia, all these teeny ass islands,
Just
that
American
got
owned?
like a big bag of laundry from Israel, being like, "Good, mate, laundry." It's so obvious. Nauru's not a country, surely.
I don't know where that is.
Yeah, Nauru's like
It is
come on,
when we're
Nauru
sending
is
the
our
boats
country,
back.
surely.
Oh, is it?
I mean, I remember that it used to be.
I don't know.
God, my mind is still in like 60s Australia. Yeah,
Hey.
surely we should own Papua New
You
Guinea.
come to my world.
Australia's
what else?
basically kind of
What else? It's
on
all
Yeah,
of
Tonga. It's all the
right.
every
American.
one of our neighbours was just like, yes, I'm very invested in Palestine. Yes.
Pakistan.
Pakistan.
Which, by the way,
Whatever,
from
they both
experience,
start with
if you
peace.
go to these countries, they don't know the difference
They don't know
between
the
Palestine and
difference.
Pakistan. I was in Fiji, and everyone was saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry for what Israel is doing to your homeland." And I was like, close, almost.
Yeah, the only one that's surprising-ish is Austria. And
Yeah.
I honestly think that is just World War II guilt.
yeah,
Yeah. What about Germany?
Nazi guilt.
What about Germany?
Nazi guilt. Germany abstained.
Shit.
Yeah, they don't feel too bad about it.
Damn.
I think that was a silent like.
Yeah.
Anyway, now that you figured that out,
yeah. Go on.
So Israel wants to like disarm Hamas, but my main thing is like they're living in fairyland. They think they're gonna like create this vacuum, and then once the vacuum happens, they can decide exactly how to fill it with like amazing organizations that are gonna govern Palestine, right? Also be neutral to it. You're gonna like after all the killing that they're gonna do over there, that vacuum is gonna be filled by something even worse.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
what's the point? What are you trying to achieve?
Worse
over
than
here?
Hamas?
Worse than Hamas.
You reckon?
Like
Where
that's
do we
what
go from
happened.
there?
Like with when the U.S. invaded Iraq, they wanted to get rid of Saddam Hussein. They created ISIS,
right.
and then they had to like back up from there eventually. Anyways,
Jesus.
it's just like oh man, it's so hard. Like Israel just needs to deal with these unsavory actors somehow. Even I know that they're like Hamas is a terrorist organization, like they indiscriminately kill civilians. But I think in like they have first of all the idea that Hamas only thinks that there's Israel has no right to exist they used to, but then they did change. What I'm trying to say is like I don't want to be in the position that I have to defend Hamas. I'm not defending Hamas, but I think like just getting rid of Hamas is not necessarily going to create the ideal environment that Israel thinks it will create. This is going to only radicalize Gaza Strip further and further.
Really?
In fact, even the West Bank is going to get more radicalized after this war.
How do you think about this conspiracy theory? Someone told me this the other day, and I thought, wow, this makes a lot of sense. But someone was just saying, look, you got to think about it this way. Netanyahu is from the Liberal Party of Israel, but it's the Liberal Party in a war zone. So it is something that is funded by a bunch of property developers, and they are always encroaching into the West Bank and being like, just build some more settlements over here, maybe, baby. And he's just like, anything for my friends. And then he just builds it up, and then he displaces a bunch of Palestinians, and they get pissed off. And then at some point, like a suicide bombing or something happens, and then his party has the excuse to be like, we're not safe, we're going to have to do something.
Right.
And then you've got your next scare campaign in motion for the next election.
That's exactly what's happened. Like,
that's fucked, man. That's such a scary business
But
model.
isn't that...
That's so terrifying.
But isn't there...
And here's the other thing. This is what I'm like pissed off about. A lot of Israelis, and like I'm not blaming them.
We should stepify the government. It's the government, not the people.
No, I'm talking about the Israelis because the government has been. I've told them this. Are coming out and saying, you know, the biggest injury of this entire episode of Hamas attack has been the peace process, because if this hadn't happened, Israel would have had a peace or normalization of relations with Saudi Arabia, and things would have moved in the right direction. That's the line that they're taking. I've heard even Yuval Hariri take this exact line. But this is like, let's agree on something. First of all, Saudi Arabia does not get to represent Palestinians. I feel like Palestinians get to represent Palestinians. Secondly, this normalization of relations with Saudi Arabia has nothing to do with the Palestinian cause. It's got to do with essentially US's pivot to Asia, where they've moved away from the Middle East, meaning that both Israel and Saudi Arabia have a common enemy, Iran. And how can they deal with Iran if they both are constantly fighting against each other? So they wanted to normalize relations just in opposition to Iran. So what I'm trying to say is, had this whole entire episode not happened, it's not that Palestinian would have eventually reached statehood. What in reality was happening is what, Jordan, you just said. You were slowly eating all those territories that are supposed to become eventual Palestine, to the point where like most people are getting in Palestine are getting angrier and angrier, and their radical elements do something as fucked up as like, you know, crossing over and killing innocent people that are like at festivals and shit. And again, like now that that's happened, there's going to be a lot of bombing and there's going to be a lot of this stuff, but I don't know if this is going to lead to anything. Like if the whole thing is like, if Netanyahu thinks...
This is what I want to know as well. How different is this from anything that has happened in Israel v. Palestine over the last 60 years? Is it any different? It just seems like it's yet another chapter in the exact cycle that has been happening.
Yes, but this time there's an invasion itself. So usually what would happen is Hamas would like hit rockets at Israel, and then Israel would hit rockets back, and to the point where like eventually Israel would like get so frustrated that they're gonna release a barrage of rockets at the Gaza Strip that's gonna, you know, destroy heaps of Gazan infrastructure, and then we're gonna make an issue about this, like as in we're gonna talk. The world is going to start talking about.
You know what I've
it.
always wondered
But
as well.
this time it's like a ground invasion where they're actually going in, which means that there's going to be a lot of guerrilla fighting as well. This is going to last for a long, long time.
Jesus.
Damn, that sounds messy.
It sounds messy, and I just think like the end game is not going to be something that Israel will like.
And what do they want again? The Fetish party?
Fatah party. Well, they don't want. We don't know what they
Is that a
want.
pizza?
Really.
I think it's like a salad. Yeah, the Fatah party.
Fatah party,
So the Fatah
which is
party
a secular party, which governs the West Bank territories and is palatable to Israel. By the way, this is like just
how are they palatable?
because they're like, you know, not indiscriminately killing. So okay, so this is what happens. Like with the Oslo Accords, there was the Oslo Accords at one point where
Just 1 second. Was that a success or a failure?
well, I guess it's a failure because nothing happened. Okay, so a brief sort of like look into like Palestinian political representation. So Palestine was represented by essentially, there was always a struggle between Palestine and Israel, where Palestine said that Israel does not have the right to exist. This is pre-Oslo Accords and everything. Israel doesn't have a right to exist. And then the secular, the Palestine Liberation Organization and Fatah Party, which essentially, they were similar because Yasser Arafat started the Fatah Party. They were fighting with Israelis, right? Hamas didn't exist at this point. And eventually, I think it was during Bill Clinton's time, that there was the Oslo Accords. The Oslo Accords was this major breakthrough where the Fatah Party and the PLO and Yasser Arafat accepted Israel's right to exist and said that we can form two countries, Israel and Palestine, based on the borders pre-1967, right? And so this was a negotiation that was happening. In the meantime, Hamas was growing as a political organization. It was firstly a non-governmental religious charitable organization, which, by the way,
Still exists, right?
well, it still exists. But like I'm just saying, like that is Hamas now. Hamas started off like that.
Yes, but Hamas still. I just read this somewhere the other day. They have a military wing, and they still have sort of this hospital.
Yeah, they do. They still have that. That's how they gather political support in different parts. So what was happening was and Hamas rejected the Oslo Accords. They rejected the Oslo Accords based on the fact that there was a lot of talk happening amongst, in different parts of the world, including Oslo. But they said that the ground reality was that they were still living under extreme brutality of the Israeli government, right?
Yes.
And so there was so on the ground, the Oslo Accords started becoming more and more unpopular. And as a consequence, Hamas started gaining more and more popularity. Initially, the Israelis supported Hamas because what they thought was, again, similar shit, like you don't predict what's going to happen in the future. Because they thought that if Hamas as a political movement starts gaining popularity, that's going to dent the popularity of Fatah, because they're going to be fighting over the same sort of people and same representation. And they at the time were thinking, okay, that's great because our biggest problem is Fatah and Hamas didn't exist as a problem. Little did they realize much later Hamas is going to become a major problem and Fatah is not going to become a problem. But this is the short-sightedness of some states, how they go about things. So initially Hamas, I don't know, like this is, there's a lot of contention on this, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate from it. But from what I gathered, the information that I read up on is that Hamas initially did not kill civilians. In fact, there was disagreements within Hamas where there was one group that felt that killing of civilians was justified in this case, and then there was another group that felt that killing of civilians wasn't right.
Yes.
But then there was this massacre called the Ibrahimi. I think there was this mosque in Israel, which was shot up by an Israeli, and it killed like 25 people, 25 Muslims and stuff who were unarmed, right? This wasn't a government doing it, but it was an individual doing it. But this gave Hamas this smoke screen where, like, if they're killing civilians, then we get to kill civilians. And they essentially quashed the group in Hamas that was against killing civilians. And then ever since, they've become a terrorist organization that just kills civilians if they can. Because obviously, killing military personnel is much harder than killing civilians in these kind of instances. And so they've become like this sort of this terrorist organization. But in the meanwhile, while the Israeli repression was still happening, Fatah started losing its popularity and Hamas started gaining a lot of popularity, particularly in the Gaza Strip, where then eventually Hamas and Fatah had a civil war, and Hamas won that civil war, and Fatah had to essentially move away from the Gaza Strip altogether. And ever since, Hamas has maintained this control over Gaza Strip. There were elections in 2006, 2004, I think, which Hamas won overwhelmingly in the Legislative Assembly. And then ever since, there hasn't been an election. Part of the reason why there haven't been an election is because Israel, after seeing Hamas win those elections, realized that democracy cannot work over here because we're obviously getting the wrong result. Different countries tried to persuade Israel saying that you need to give them a go. If they have won the elections, they represent a legitimate political voice in Gaza Strip. Israel disagreed. Obviously, America disagreed. Most, like Australia, we've all designated Hamas as a terrorist organization and not as a legitimate political force. Hamas, on the other hand, they've been pretty against Israel as well, and I mean Israel's right to exist. But eventually, they conceded that Israel has a right to exist. But that will be revisited. So they've asked for a 10 to 100 year ceasefire, which is a weird timeline. 10 is something else and 100 is something else. A 10 to 100 year ceasefire.
Shit.
In the meantime, the hostilities will end, and then after that, we will revisit the question of whether Israel has a right to exist or not. That has not been acceptable for Israel, and ever since, they've just been fighting each other. Now, Hamas has asked for a ceasefire, but Netanyahu has said time for ceasefire is over. Now we're in for a long war. So we're about to see the Israeli forces go into Gaza and, occupy that place for a long time. And
what was their objective?
To get rid of Hamas, because they think that...
No. What was Hamas's objective?
That's a good question.
Well, initially their objective was to make all of Israel Palestine.
Yeah, but, I just don't understand how you think that's going to happen.
Well, look, they are radicals, so they kind of live in a bit of a fantasy land, kind of like how communists would live in a land, we're going to eventually make the whole world communist.
Really? So there's not hard-headed tacticians there?
But that's what I'm saying. They are. And those are the people that Israel could potentially work with. But the thing is, the more you ostracize them, the more of those crazies become popular in Hamas itself. If you bring Hamas to the mainstream, maybe there would be dissenting voices within them saying hey, it's unfeasible to make all of Israel Palestine. Maybe we should go for a two-state solution as well. But we don't know, because we've constantly been fighting a rocket war with them. So that, I think, either way, look, man, it's an extremely cancelable position right now to say that you should give Hamas some oxygen, trying to make them more mainstream and see if you can work with them.
But isn't that what they were trying to do?
I don't think Israel ever tried to do that.
Never tried to do it?
At one point, Hamas wrote a letter to... By the way, Hamas has tried to do that. They did that with George Bush. They wrote a letter to George Bush that we're willing to compromise and go for a two-state solution. But we need to, have a ceasefire for whatever. Apparently, George Bush never replied to them.
But they still have a parliament, right? I saw Palestine's, because I was so interested in what their parliaments look like. And Palestine's
Same as Australia's. Same as Australia's, eh? Exactly the same. Even the Governor General.
Amazing.
What was it?
Eating image. Let me put it this way. I
Order.
would imagine that the entire parliament would fit in the waiting room of the Premier's office.
Shit.
It's so small.
How many people?
I don't know. It was just 20 guys in there.
Shit.
It was this teeny little room. And then I went over and looked at Israel's out of curiosity, and Israel's just looks exactly like you would imagine it to
China.
look. It's just a fortress.
Right,
This
right.
square, scary cube.
Right.
And then nothing pretty around it.
But there's no opposition party to Hamas, right?
There's no opposition party. There's Fatah, which is...
No, there is opposition parties in there.
Are
There's
there?
a bunch. There's this one other party that's called the Third Way Party or something.
Oh,
It has
really?
one representative.
There hasn't been an election.
Fighting the good fight.
But I tell you one thing. When Hamas initially took control after winning the elections, which eventually didn't get recognized, that was the first time that this is also why they're popular. They actually maintained stability. There was a lot of armed militias that roamed streets of Gaza. At least this one armed militia took over and created a monopoly, which essentially is a state, right?
Yeah.
It's one gang is bigger than this, and the rest of them know that. So Hamas was able to do it, which is why they became even more popular. But we're living in 2023, and this is mid-2000s. So we don't know exactly what their popularity level is. The estimates are they're still pretty popular in Gaza, at least.
Yes.
And they're becoming more and more popular even in the West Bank. And that's because Israel keeps eating up the Palestinian territories.
Yes.
So even from their perspective, even the ones that are not Hamas, so West Bank isn't Hamas, it is Fatah, but they look at their situation and how their land keeps getting eaten up every now and then, and they're like, okay, maybe we should also go for Hamas now. So this is
right.
It's just, I don't know. I'm just saying this is gonna end badly for Israel as well as the Palestinians. It's not. I don't know if this ground invasion will actually be able to give them what they're looking for.
I'm starting to think that Bibi is a very wily politician, who'd have guessed. And I think it's in his benefit I think it's in his
yeah.
benefit to have the conflict because I
Right.
feel like he stays in power by keeping a fear-mongering atmosphere in Israel. Am I wrong? Because I was looking at their parliament. The opposition there seems to be... I don't know enough about it. Someone might explain it to me in the comments. But what I can see from it is it's pretty much just Netanyahu's party, but they like gays more. I think that's the opposition.
No, it is like you mentioned. It's like, imagine the Liberal Party, Netanyahu being the head of the Liberal Party, but there's a massive nationals representation in his government as well.
Right.
No, but their nationals representation seems to be all of these strange... This is the weird thing about their parliament. They say... This is what happens when you have the madness of a minority government in power. But it's true, man. You just get all the fucking nutbags.
Right.
And so he's always in coalition, it seems, with a bunch of strange Jewish sect radicals.
Right.
Who are eating up the
Like, they're just
territories.
eating up, but they I don't know. They just... It's like mostly any party other than the Liberal Party, and then I suppose there's also this other party that sort of gains it. It doesn't seem to be much different to Netanyahu's. I could be wrong. And then a bunch of seats that are just in, I don't know, they just must have like different interpretations of the Torah or something, but that seems to be their only platform.
Right.
You know, they're like hardcore religious nutbags,
Yeah,
and they have to share power with them. And then
Ultra-conservatives.
their Labour Party, which set up the Oslo Accords, it's nothing. It's like not
Really?
even as many as Pauline Hanson's seats. I don't
Really?
It's nothing. It's like 4 seats.
Shit.
It's teeny.
But I'd
it
be
used to
curious
be
to
an
s-
actual party that
Right.
made government, and I don't know. They keep saying it was the Oslo Accords that fucked up the Labour Party or something.
This was like this was Bibi Netanyahu's last election campaign. Vote for me or get run over by ISIS.
yeah.
That was legitimately it.
yeah.
And if Liberals here can get a successful scare campaign off of Labor might increase taxes, just look at him. You can tell even though he's saying no, he's
Look
thinking
at
yes.
those thick glasses.
That's all. Yeah,
They got
he's a bean can. and that's what's fucking happening here. You can run a scare campaign off of that. If you are in a war zone,
Oh yeah, it's
so
easy.
easy.
So easy. So easy.
you could do it.
Definitely.
I mean, yeah.
So it's just a.
But the
I don't know,
thing-
it's
but
a
the
very
thing-
strange.
but if
government.
they-
It's a really strange situation, but like particularly, like I'd be curious to see what happens if there were elections. I mean, not now, pre-October 7th. I'd be curious to see if Bibi Netanyahu would have been able to remain in power because there was a lot of opposition to him. There were like hundreds of thousands of Israelis protesting regularly against his judicial reforms. So, I mean, instead of like, and he also hasn't taken any ownership of this whole security collapse either. Like,
I don't think he needs to.
well, he's initially blamed the Israeli Defense Forces and then had to issue a public apology to them.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't think that that's going to fly. I think that he can always just slide in on, I'm going to be the toughest on the Palestinians, and he'll win. And
Yeah,
so
which is why
as a result, I'm imagining that the opposition has to say, no, we're going to be tougher.
Yeah, because
That's
right.
Yeah,
It's just that paradigm.
yeah, and that's
Right.
that is like there's no leftist Israelis are in a pickle right now because they almost have to like double down on Hamas at the moment because they're like if we
Right.
because like the
It's that- I think
the
it's just a
right wing
paradigm.
government points at them and says, while this is happening, you want to really vote for these guys. And so they have to be like doubly negative to
Yeah.
Hamas at the moment. It's a fuck situation. Like they're all
But surely anyone in Parliament would recognize that it's wrong to have illegal settlements in like Palestine. And
they
expand
don't
them.
care, bro. Like they okay. What people don't realize is like even the Israeli ultra conservative Jews, they're also living in a fairyland where they think it's literally a God given right.
Right.
Like you cannot take this backwater Nazareth part of like you cannot take it away from me. God had gifted it to me.
Right.
And then they're also in government with Netanyahu, so they also like get state patronage for it. It's impossible
But
to reason with
couldn't
these people.
Netanyahu just be like, look, we're going to go wild, Girls Gone Wild, Jerusalem style, but no, you can't.
If he does that, he
expand-
loses government. He's also in a pickle.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that
Right.
he's also trapped by...
So he's trapped.
No,
bloodline.
he is. He is.
Yeah.
To be fair to him, he's a Malcolm Turnbull like character. He's not as
Yeah. He bends with
he's
the breeze.
he bends with the breeze, and he knows that like I am staying in government because of these guys, and the cost is to let them eat up the territories, which is against international law. But you can't reason with the people eating up the settlers. You can't reason with the settlers, and because you can't reason with the settlers, Netanyahu's like, okay, it's going to keep happening.
Well, I would like to know, and someone enlighten me in the comments, but I would really like to know why there are so many different Jewish there's so many different Jewish parties that seem to be like purely religious.
Yeah, but that's the same as any religion.
And I would like to know why they're so powerful.
Right.
And I would like to know why the Labor Party is such a joke there.
But it's the same.
It used to be the government.
But isn't this exactly the same in America and like Christians? There's more than 10 different sects of Christianity in America that have a huge sway on
there's one
the Republicans.
ultra-conservative group that's against Israel. There's so many.
But like, they're still in the Republican Party. I suppose because it is just a different... See, I really do like the two-state monopoly system. I'm a big fan.
Sure, you know, like...
Because you just at least have to bring the nuts in and... It like, even though I know that that's bad because they're still nuts, but at least they do have to negotiate as a faction within this main party as opposed to sitting there and being like, I've got the government by the balls.
True.
You know?
Yeah, and funnily enough, because there's so many ultra-conservative Jewish sects that some of them have their own parties, there's one that is actually against Israel because they feel that in the Torah, unless Israel is taken away from the Jews, the Messiah won't come back. So they actively support the Palestinian cause.
What is going on? And they have seats in Parliament.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, I think they have a couple of seats.
Dude, and the party's called Free Israel. And they're like, yes, free Israel. They're like, no, free it. Like, we don't want it.
See, but this is what I'm talking about. This is who you have to deal with.
That's. I need to look.
Isn't it strange?
I got to look at the government.
You know what else I've seen? I don't know. I've heard that like the Arabic parties in Israel's parliament are getting huge headwinds and getting it done well. And it seems to be
they're playing the same game. They've realized that in the Arab party in Israel that represents the Arab Muslims of Israel have realized that the way to do politics is to play this minority government game. So they also, in certain regards, actually support Benjamin Netanyahu because they're like, well,
massively.
If everyone's getting a piece of the pie, then I want to get in.
And they know that Netanyahu is open for business.
And he
just cares about staying in government, so he will do deals with the Arabs. Yeah. So it's really weird. But like, I don't know, man. Like, it seems like that is unequivocally the most successful formula.
What do you mean?
It is just this thing of
divide and rule. Really.
It's exactly what Ali was saying. I completely agree with him now. I don't even think this two-state solution is a good idea. I think it's just like, just make it all Israel and let them vote in the parliament.
Yeah.
That seems to be the way to do it.
I think that's
but that's not going to fly for Palestinian people. They're not going to. I
think it will. I think it'll be like way better for them if they did, because this guy, this Arabic guy, I was reading about it. He got huge concessions when he was in government.
Here's the other problem that like everyone, including myself, that advocate for a two-state solution, people that are on like Instagram, Facebook saying a two-state solution, the United Nations, everyone's asking for a two-state solution. Here's another fact that no one will tell you: two-state solution is basically impossible now. The reason it's impossible is because all those places where there is supposed to be a Palestine, there's already Jewish settlers living.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not. And it's a mishmash.
Right.
You look at the map, it's going to be the hell to even create these two countries.
Oh, God.
So by all practical means, it sucks to say this. No one will say this to you, but two-state solution is dead.
Really?
The ground realities are, I don't think it's even possible.
I don't even think it sucks that much.
Dude, but you have to...
I honestly think
you're disregarding...
Dude, if you want peace, that's how you get it.
Yeah, but dude, you're disregarding, like, national pride, heritage, culture. You can't just be like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing with Yugoslavia. It's like telling the Croatians you're Yugoslavia again. It's not going to happen. If you take their flag, if you take the Palestinian flag, and they're sent,
then the status quo will maintain.
That's what's going to happen. It will maintain.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I know what you're saying, but it's like you're overlooking. Like you're looking.
Yes, I know. Neither of these things are ever going to happen, but
it can happen
practically.
It can happen
one-state solution
in an
doesn't seem that bad. Like, it seems like you can get some.
It can happen in an instant if Israel allows right to return. all those refugees that left Palestine during the wars, if they're allowed to come back, which is in millions, by the way, I think all Palestinians will be very okay with a one-state solution.
Really?
At that point,
But does that
they've
mean
got the state?
But
yeah,
does
that's
that-
true, but I don't think that that's ever going to happen. And even if they don't, but they still have millions more votes in the Israeli system.
It'll be like a Lebanese sort of a system, which is not a great example right now because Lebanon is in collapse. But I think it can actually work.
Yeah.
There's if Jews think that by allowing all Palestinians to come into their state and give them voting rights that they're gonna have no importance, you're crazy. Like it's how South Africans said that if apartheid is over, white South Africans will have no political power. Look at South Africa; they still have a lot of political power. I think it can actually work.
Yeah.
It's a very unpopular
Seems it,
solution,
because
but I think, first of all,
already-
it's the only possible solution. And I think if you look past your, personal, humiliation stories and revenge and all that, if you look past and you move forward, I think it's a workable scenario.
But will that mean that it's like, welcome to Israel? Palestine will be no more, and it'll be called Israel, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends on what you want to call it. You could call it
Palesrael.
you could call it like something else.
Israelstein.
You can also call it Israel. I don't think...
Dude,
I honestly... Here's the other thing. Even as, most Muslims will... This whole debate has become so radicalized, but the whole idea that there shouldn't be any Jews in Israel is a fallacy even for Muslims. When Muslims took over Israel in the early days, the Romans have driven out Jews. But Muslims were like, Israel is a Jewish... Look, I'll admit it. Israel is a Jewish state. It has historically been a Jewish state. Even in the Bible, even in the Quran, it's acknowledged that Israel is a Jewish place. Which is why Muslims actually invited 10 or 20 families of Jews to come back to Israel when they took over.
Yeah, that's true. They're the only
so the
ones
idea
to
that
do that.
Israel has to be Jew-free is wrong even in theology for Muslims. So I think it is a workable scenario. It's just that you can't have a completely Jewish state where Palestinians have no representation to say. I think that's the issue. You're right, maybe Palestinians at this moment won't agree to a one-state solution, but you look 100 years forward, I think it's the only workable solution.
I don't even think that it matters if they do agree or don't. They won't give them a one-state solution. They just want them quarantined.
What do you mean?
Israel do not want
a one-state
millions of
solution.
votes coming into their system.
Which
I
is
just don't even know how there's any Arabs in Israel to begin with.
why?
That's interesting to me as well.
Yeah, there are.
I'm very, very interested in those two things.
Like their representation.
Who are the Arabs in Israel, and why does the Labour Party suck so much there? Those are the
the Labour
they
Party.
fascinate me.
That is fascinating. The Labour Party thing, because there are a
Because
lot.
it really does show something there, which is that the poor there do not identify themselves as like working class. No one, very few
Dude,
people
it's a
think of
security
themselves
state.
like
the
that.
parameters are different in a security state. In a security state, all your considerations have one primary thing: will it keep us safe? And when you live in that kind of a society, also the way Israeli left is looked upon as failures because obviously all those Oslo Accords and none of that shit actually worked for them.
Yeah, but let's
So they're
say put
like,
it
well,
forward.
this didn't work for us, then why should we support you?
Right.
And
Yeah, so
keeping
now
in
they're
mind
just
that
screwed.
they are screwed.
But there are a huge percentage of, I think there are a huge percentage of Jewish people that don't support the Israeli government. They don't support invading Gaza. They don't support the settlements.
Yeah, but they don't matter
I
politically.
don't think
at
so.
least.
I think that
If they did, there would be more Labour votes.
right. Well, yeah, maybe you're
But
right.
even then, like the Labour, it's not like the Labour Party has a soft touch on Palestine. It's just that they're
Right.
kind of a little more rational about it
Yeah.
and don't seem to have an incentive in rocketing them into the ground.
Yeah. By no means are they soft on Palestine.
Not
Right.
soft on them. They're just not like
That's the
actively
that's the-
poking the beehive and being like, oh my God, they're pissed.
Well, there was a Central Station in New York was filled with Jewish protesters protesting Israel and the occupation. So that's that.
I bet you Jerry Seinfeld was there.
No, dude. Shh, dude, no. Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, the other way around, was it?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry,
no.
yeah.
I'm saying they were protesting, saying, get out of the settlements, just pull out of Gaza. Let's just retreat back to the early 20s or 60s state borders, and let's reassess.
You know what's really strange about all of it? I don't think anyone in that country, let alone the world, A, knows what to do, B, has a plan. I don't think they have a plan.
I don't think it's like from the
I think
Israeli
everyone's just
government's
kind of got
point
these
of
lofty
view.
ideas of it's two-state or something like that. But I think that practically people think like it's just going to be this strange stalemate isn't even the right word, but this limbo forever. I think that's really
Well,
that's
what like Israeli government actually wants at the moment. They'd
Yeah.
rather keep things the way they are.
No,
but the only thing is, and if you look at it from like a Palestinian's point of view, the Israeli government's position is keep the status quo. So essentially keep Gaza an open air prison, subjugate the Palestinian territories and West Bank as much as possible. And the only thing that changes this formula is Hamas's terrorism.
Yes.
So guess where they're moving towards. So if you keep the status quo as it is, you're only going to have more and more fucked organizations within the Palestinians that are going to be more radical and are going to kill civilians. That does not mean that it's a good thing. It just means that's what's going to happen. It's the cost of keeping apartheid.
What
You
about
can't have an apartheid and be a peaceful country. Like you're going to constantly face resistance all the time.
what about the like the UN, international laws of war, all these kind of things? Do they have any?
They're all talk. None of it matters.
Right.
These are all important if America's on your side. Otherwise, it doesn't matter at all. Like most of the world voted for a ceasefire, and guess what? Benjamin Netanyahu announced that they're going to invade the day after that happened. So like none of that shit matters in the real world, unfortunately.
Was there any universe where Biden would be like, because Biden has, he said like we support Israel, but he's also being like, don't invade or cool it, don't like
he is saying that privately to them, just don't invade. This is going to create more problems, but publicly he's saying, we support Israel. Do whatever you want.
Is that just because of the lobby?
Oh yeah.
There was peace negotiation. There was there's lobbying. But man, Jordan, what do you think about this? I think like both Albanese and Biden are going to face the consequences of their current position in the polls.
Shit.
Really?
I think so.
Not in Australia. I don't think so in Australia.
Like, okay, what are those Western Sydney seats? Like, if a couple of those go,
right, maybe.
Is that a problem for Labor next time?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Oh, really?
But the thing is, I don't think that they will go.
No.
I think that's what the Albanese and Joe Biden's calculus is. They're saying by the time election comes around, Arab Americans and Arab Australians and Muslim Australians or whatever are going to forget about it. But we'll see. Maybe not.
You know what's strange? There's footage of Albo like in the 90s protesting Israel and like going to pro-Palestine marches and shit. Like
Biden.
No. Albo.
Yeah, of course.
But like, so is he just towing the line because
he's straight up towing
dude.
the line. Yeah.
Albo is a very practical man.
Right. So
very practical.
So behind closed doors, he's like, this is
Funny enough, your entire cabinet would have been pro-Palestine.
Sorry?
If you ask Penny Wong privately what her opinion on this is, you'll probably get a very different answer.
Yeah, and
If
it's
you
exactly the
ask
same with
Albanese
AUKUS. Like, there's
privately-
no way that Anthony Albanese and Penny Wong support AUKUS.
Yeah, it's-
But is it like you
it's just-
said, the pendulum has swung in its context, and it's like in that what's the word you use?
No, it's just, this is the whole thing. This is all these dickheads that I'm always battling with, right? That are sitting there being like, we should just defy AUKUS. Paul Keating said it. And it's like, yeah, Paul Keating hasn't been in power in like 30 years. He can say that.
For you, maybe.
Yeah, for me, maybe.
Dude, by the way,
he could go to anti-Palestine rallies when he's 18 in the 80s.
Yeah.
But, when you are the prime minister of a country, it's very different.
George, here's another trivia question. Answer this for me. All living ex-prime ministers of Australia today have signed a condemnation of Hamas and solidarity with Israel, except for one.
Oh, shit.
Who is the one?
Paul Keating.
Paul Keating said.
Holy shit. No. Wow. At least he puts his money where his mouth is.
Give a shit.
And were there any... Wait. Was that now?
Yeah, now.
Oh, he's done that now. Not when he... Oh, not when he's
and
in...
all they could try to do is language police him. I saw Penny Wong the other day. I heard was to say he's really tarnished his reputation with his tone of these objections to AUKUS, and they'd be saying the same things about him not signing the Palestine.
Right.
Anyways,
He's,
look, boys, let's move
loose.
on to the next segment because we're running over time. But because I've made a $20 investment into this segment, we're going to do this. It's time for ghost stories.
Oh, yeah!
Sick.
All of
Finally.
those people that I told, add me on Instagram to...
They have not.
3 people have. So we're going to go on a quick break because I need to set the environment for the Halloween segment for you guys. Be ready with your ghost stories, and we're going to be telling some ghost stories as well, all right?
Jesus Christ. What other podcast on earth do you get this variety?
None.
So,
Maybe Kyle and Jackie.
We're going to go on a quick break, and we'll be back. Welcome to the ghost story segment. Okay, look,
This
I
is-
think I have to definitely see because
Oh shit.
we're all ghosts.
Is this what it's like being a deep sea fish?
Damn.
Fuck.
I
There you
hope
go.
so.
My eyes
What a
hurt.
life.
What a just sad and confusing life.
All right, so who wants to...
am I?
Where am
Where
I?
am I? Where's my phone? Who
Where's
wants to start off with the ghost stories?
as in like one
Call
of,
up now.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you're wearing your headphones. God, okay, I didn't think this through. This is tough. Headphones.
I'm ready.
Can't really
Yeah.
see where the microphone is.
This sort of I'm getting seasick. This feels like VR.
Make sure you don't burn the sheets.
I'll try not to.
My girl's gonna kill me if you do.
Why? Are these from a school?
This is her fabric.
Oh,
Fabric for
Jesus.
what?
Ugh, I don't know,
Ghosts.
She makes shit.
Right,
All right,
right.
okay. You got your headphones on?
Yeah.
All right, okay, here we go. Let's take some calls.
Ghost stories.
Whew.
Here we go.
Here we go.
These better be real.
All right, here we go. First one.
Ooh, spooky.
From
Where's it
home.
coming from? Hello?
Hello.
What's
Fuck.
this is so shabby.
Oh my
Sorry.
god, a
Damn.
ghost called.
Damn, vaping in these isn't it great?
Well,
Hey,
at
can
least
you
you're
hear
fighting
us?
a good fight, miss.
Oh my god, it's not
Well,
even coming
we
through.
gotta,
Black
yeah, well,
Magic.
whatever, just put it near the microphone
Go on.
or
Band mode.
generally where you think it is.
Do you have any ghost
Is
stories
it
for
band
us?
mode?
Oh,
Of course.
Ben, you don't have a ghost story.
What's the...
It's not going to like scare the pants off you.
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, this is a good
So,
start. Happy
Years ago
Halloween.
when I worked at KFC, I worked with a manager. Her name was Carol. And she claimed that there was a ghost that used to like play tricks on her at work. And we all thought she was a bit wacky-do. She was an older woman. We thought, oh, this is it. She's losing her marbles. But it wasn't
What's the
until
manager?
me and a few of the other staff, we trained to become managers, which meant that we were left in the restaurant on our own of a morning, which, by the way, back then, completely illegal, but it was the like late 90s, early 2000s, so we got away with that shit.
Shut up.
Anyway, I just thought that, she was lying. Anyway, so she gives me her keys and she's like, okay, you open up, you just start doing the day stuff. I'll come in at 10 o'clock. So I've got in there at like 8 a.m.
Nice.
And I've gone in, and this is back when the old KFC restaurants used to have offices, not just like a wall on the side of the
Oh, sick.
restaurant.
Yeah. I do remember that.
So it had a proper office, and up the top...
Hey,
were
did it have a
all the,
picture of
like-
Colonel Sanders in there?
Yes.
Fuck yeah. You pay respect to your
Hell
queen.
yeah.
Yes, but go on.
He is my father after all. So
Spiritually.
there were all these folders up the top because this was before like online training or anything. You'd have to read the manuals to become a manager, etc. So I've walked in, I've turned the alarm off, and I hear a noise while I'm putting the gravy on. And I'm like, oh, that's strange. I'm the only one here. And I've locked the doors because I don't particularly like being in hold-ups. So I've locked the doors. I'm like, okay. And so I walked back down to the office to start placing my orders, and every single folder on that top shelf, it just looked like somebody had got their arm and just swiped it off.
Dang.
They all
And
just went
was it the
flying
manager?
off.
So you stand by that it was... Who's haunting a KFC?
Ronald McDonald.
Yeah.
Ronald McDonald
Yeah, it was a
really
classic
nasty.
Scooby-Doo stitch up to like get rid of the family business. So.
So she used to work at the KFC out at St Mary's, which apparently closed down. And when they were redeveloping the land to turn into like either houses or apartments, they found remains underneath the KFC.
Sick.
No
Okay,
way.
now, all right, well, this is definitely true then.
Shit.
That's awesome.
That is scary.
Yeah, it's always
We
remains.
named him Bruce.
Isn't that weird, though? Doesn't that suggest that when you die, your body just hangs around in a coffin thinking, I guess it's not all bad, kind of cramped, wish I went for the deluxe model. And then as soon as it gets upset, what? Convenient and delicious chicken. No, I'm not having that. So,
So yeah, and I'm telling you now, I'm straight on the phone to her, and she's just laughing at me down the phone, and she's like,
so
"I've been
good. What,
trying
like
to
a
tell
witch
you
cackle
guys."
being like, ah?
No, that's my laugh.
Right, yes.
yeah,
You
she's
were
like,
doing
"I've
that
been
back to
trying
her.
And then recently, well, not so recently, a year ago, my mother passed away,
Yeah.
and I have little spoons that I collect.
I got one of those for you.
I know, thank you.
Yeah.
You have no idea how happy I am.
You and me both.
So, I,
Miss loves keeping
she-
it.
You sound ecstatic. So, my mum made these little, like, wooden things that we put up on the wall to display our spoons. Now, I found more spoons when she passed away because I was sorting through
She
all
was a
her
hoarder.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I made 2 more to put up on the wall. Now,
Jesus,
that's
2
fine.
extra
Mum's
spoon
ones
racks. Yeah.
have been stuck up there for, 18 months. Nothing has moved. But the ones that I put up there, I have stuck them up there with super glue, and those bastards keep flying off the wall.
Dang.
Do you fly or drop? What, are they on the other side of the...
So,
Come on, you just used them for ice cream.
I do love me a little spoon. So,
You got drunk and you took him off the ice cream.
I wanted to become a hillbilly musician. Yeah.
If they drop, they'd fall behind the cupboard. I'm telling you, they're landing near my kitchen door.
Well, what's your mum trying to tell you there?
That
Just
is
being
weird.
like, no.
I think she's pissed off.
I'm not
that I
proud of
made
that
something that
spoon.
She did.
Huh?
Sorry.
She's probably pissed off that I've made better ones.
Damn.
Yeah, okay, all right. So
Being
she was
snippy.
quite passive aggressive, was she?
Being snippy from beyond the grave.
Yeah, it's totally her style.
Yeah?
That is pretty good. Like that is. I'm paying that.
They're
As,
not bad stories.
they're not bad at all. They're creepy. They are creepy.
Yep.
Thank you, Banmole.
That's a good effort.
Appreciate
That's
it.
okay.
Cheers.
That's
And I'll get that spoon one day, I suppose.
well. Listen, it's from Berlin, so it might be even more freakily possessed. So that's on you now. Pass
Yeah.
it on to you.
That's the spoon that they use to widen up the assholes that they piss in.
Cheers. Cheers, Banmole.
Damn. I mean,
My ice cream.
the idea of something. Yeah, the other side of the room. Nah, that's scary. That is scary. And was the KFC the manager or not? We'll never know. I'm going to say definitely not.
Hello, can you hear us?
Hey, it doesn't make that annoying ringing sound.
Wait 1 second.
Instagram's way better, apart from the fact that no one rings.
Okay, sorry. You're on air now. How you going?
You know what? Is it strange that I like being in here more than
No,
the
it's
real?
too
I
hot
feel
in
like a
here.
Joey. It's just like it's safe in here. It reminds me of my mom's
Am I
couch.
Yeah, you're good. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm really.
I'm good.
well.
This is making me seasick.
Alright,
This
so-
fucking thing.
I'll say these in the order that they happened.
Yeah.
So I lived in the Philippines for quite a long time, and when I was getting married, we were checking out one of the venues.
Wait. Why were you living there for a long time?
Just family, work.
Yeah, right. Well, you shut me up.
Right. Okay, so you were a drug dealer, and then that president came in, and you had to skip town. Yeah, got it.
And then you ran for mayor.
Oh, that'd be more fun than it actually was.
Go on. So you're living in Philippines and you're about to get married.
Yeah, so we were checking out venues, and there was this one particular venue we went to, and it just gave me this odd feeling of, if we get married here, someone's going to die.
Whoa.
That's specific.
Heavy.
You still together?
And then, yes.
Okay. She's your keeper.
So it's basically, we left the venue, I mentioned that, and my wife and someone else basically had the exact same feeling.
Interesting.
Was
And
it
nothing
the
happened?
was the person that was
Wait,
going to
that's
die
it?
the planner? Because
Okay, the shit start, but it's beginning.
oh no, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
That's all right. We can warm
I'm
up.
intrigued.
I mean, we did just listen to someone going through their day at KFC for 20 minutes. Barry's like,
You
go on.
venue hunting, it's all right. Go on.
Yeah. Okay, so honeymoon time, we're in Thailand,
Yep.
and basically come out of the shower and see, what do you call them? Basically a cleaner cleaning up beside the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Scares the shit out of me. I think, like, what the fuck? Someone's come in, get sort of covered, then realise there's no one actually there.
What do you mean you realise there's no one there?
Well,
You saw a cleaner.
yeah, saw someone cleaning up beside the bed.
Yeah.
Are you sure they just didn't leave the room?
No, it was like right there. The shower was basically in front of the bedroom.
Whoa. And then
Oh, okay. So you turned around, put on your towel, turned back,
Yeah.
and there
one
was
there.
no one in the room.
Whoa. Shit. Was it an old timey cleaner?
Bad, yeah.
Hey?
Like, was it a cleaner from the 40s? Or was it just sort of like, thanks for staying at Blue Ribbon, Philippines?
Well, Thailand, but pretty much that.
yeah.
Fuck.
Very
And
confused,
Basically,
mate.
I made the mistake of telling my wife that. Who, for the next week we were there, was just shit scared.
Yeah.
Right.
Understandably.
Yeah. I would be scared as
Then-
well. Fair.
Okay, final story, pretty much.
No, that was good. Go
that
on.
was good.
And we visited a historic town up north in the Philippines, and we were visiting it. There was basically a museum of one of the old high society families of the town. It was their house.
This is very promising, yes.
Yeah.
So, a young, well-dressed man at the counter basically invited us in, told us a bit about it. We go off, we're walking up the stairs. I look back. I see what I think is him following us up to sort of give us a bit of a guide.
Mm.
And then sort of get up and then turn around, not there anymore.
What?
And looking through the photos of the house, basically one of the sons looked just like that.
Whoa.
Cool.
Did he also go in another room? Or he was not that?
Dude, what is
This is pretty cool. Like, all of them are just helpful ghosts, aren't they? Every last one of them. Was
But
said,
like-
this wedding place is a safety hazard. This one here, you left a condom out the back. And then this guy being like, come on, I'll let you in for free.
So, like, you didn't see him anywhere?
Ghosts in the third world?
Did you see him anywhere?
Some sort of old Spanish era family.
And he was gone. You never saw him again.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
okay. So he didn't even look Filipino. He's like, my name is Gomez.
Kind of, just like well-dressed.
What the hell?
Now, did he look like he was from the 40s?
I don't know, man.
The details aren't important. No, dude, that's crazy. If that really happened and is just like helpful old ghosts of the past. What did you tell your missus when that happened?
Yeah,
Did
you
you tell
gotta
her?
just say, Asians are so much better than Australians, aren't they? So much better. They're just nice.
More polite, even in-
death,
yeah.
still serving.
So like
Even the gentry.
what did she say?
It basically just freaks her out. Actually, I do have another story. We were renting a condo for a few weeks after we'd sold ours, and I kind of learnt from my mistakes of not telling her at the start. So I waited until the last night of when we were staying there. So basically, I come out of the condo, I look to the left, which was basically the end of the corridor. I see someone there, and then you have a bit more of a look. There's no one. And so basically, I held on to that for about a week before I told her. Freaked her out that night.
It's amazing. There's just this around the world playing hide and seek with the dead.
Dude, your relationship is just freaking out your wife full time. Holy shit.
Basically learning not to tell her.
Yeah. And we can.
Hey, I wonder if
yeah.
the whole thing is then that you are that little kid in the Sixth Sense, and you're the one that
Yeah.
sees all the dead people, and your wife might be dead as well, and that'll be the plot twist.
Yes.
You know, she's the ghost too. It's just incredible that it's you're the one that's seeing them. Do you think that you have a shinning?
I'm the one who is skeptical about the whole thing. She's the one who.
Well, still skeptical.
I
But
see.
you're the one that saw all of them.
Yeah, you saw all
I
of them.
see.
So what do you think happened then?
What's funny about it?
What do you think it was then? If you're skeptical about it,
You thought they just were people working there,
Who knows?
dude. I see helpful people. That's look. I don't know. I'm two ways about it. Either it's like the best story I've ever heard, or like you had a few too many schnapses and like the help were like, nah, I'm not going to clean that room. But look, they're both interesting.
and equally terrifying.
Yeah, shit. I wonder, have you had any more recently?
No,
Oh,
man,
my
it's been the
thinking.
last 3 years. No
The
ghosts.
shader isn't working. Sorry, thanks, Jeremy. That was really good.
Dude, that was mad.
Thanks
Just
for calling
call in again if it happens again.
No worries.
All right, cheers.
See ya.
Now, has anyone had any ghosts that sucked them into a TV, or
Yeah.
we got some ones that did some damage?
Wait, what about you? Do you want to tell any story? My sheet keeps falling off, dude.
Who? Us?
Yeah, one
I've
of
only
us.
got one.
And we've all, yeah, because I had one and I've told that story.
Yeah, I told mine. I
I
went.
can do it again.
I mean, I went back. I don't know if I told you guys that. I went back to.
No, you've got an update.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, actually, just for those of you that hadn't listened to it, give us a quick skim of the time you saw a ghost.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Your story is honestly the scariest I've ever heard.
Go on, tell us your story.
All right. Me. Gather round. He.
Who's got the vape?
I got it, baby. Hold on. Sweet vape eases the pain. Here you go. So me and my mate, I'll give you the update. So me and my mate, back in the day, kids, 13 or whatever, used to go to Canberra a lot because my parents were like, yeah, go have fun, get rid of me. He lived on the edge of town, like a forest. He used to go on long 13-hour walks when his parents were fighting, as you do. And it was early 2000s is what happened. And so one day we packed a bag with like a knife and a banana, I remember, all the essentials. And then we walked for a long time in this one direction. And it was like we traversed a lot of different terrain. It was like one of those montages of like, I don't know, Jesus in Nazareth or something. It was like deserty terrain, tropical rainforests, burnt out billabong, sheep skulls, like all that kind of shit. We get to one spot when it's just flat and dry, and we see a lady in what looked like a lady in a long black veil flying towards us, like very rapidly moving towards us. We shit ourselves. So we, without saying a word, look at each other like in a fucking Scooby-Doo episode and just start running. The detail that I forgot, I don't know how, but I was informed by my mate, was that apparently we started running and then she appeared in front of us, like not right in front, but like completely different direction, like 180 is now in front of us. I don't know how I skipped over that in my mind. So I would assume we changed direction again, but we basically ran for half an hour without stopping. And then we were just like, did you see that? I'm assuming at some point we ate the banana.
You don't have to assume that one.
Yeah.
That happened.
No conspiracy there. But then this is the cool addendum that I like. I think this is quite a creepy addendum. So recently, I went with my mate and we were like, let's go back. He's like, let's go for a mountain bike ride back there. And I was like, okay. Went back there. This is like a few months ago. Went for a big ass insane mountain ride and through like a storm. It was ridiculous. And then we traversed the same sort of landscape, and nothing crazy. He wanted to do that ride at night at first. He was like, let's do it at 3 a.m. and thank fuck we didn't do that. But I mean, would have been interesting. We didn't do it. So we were riding around and basically nothing really happened. But there was, so how I told you there was a landscape full of dead skulls.
Yeah.
One of which I ended up taking back to Sydney, and it was in my room. And I'm like, I'm getting rid of it. It's creeping me out.
Yeah.
So
I remember that.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember you coming to school one day and people were like, "What happened to that sheep skull?" And you were like, kept staring at me.
In the mic, Jordan, you're not yours. So yeah, I got rid of that. But my mate had done that ride 50 times since then. Nothing's happened. We got to a certain part of that track. This is completely changed terrain. There's no sheep skulls or anything. He'd never seen it before. He's done this ride 50 times before. And he was like, hey, look over there. And I looked. And one of those sheep skulls was jammed into the roots, like a branch of a tree, like growing through the eye, almost as if it's grown into it. Like, I don't know how you'd get it on there. Because it was like jammed on there. Like you couldn't get it.
Black magic.
You couldn't get it off. And then he was just like, look. And I was like, holy shit, that's one of those fucking skulls. And he was like, yeah, what the fuck? And we just looked at it for a while. I'm like, huh. And then later he was like, that really creeped me out. I just didn't say anything when we were there. And I'm like, I think at the time we were like, what the hell? But now it's kind of like, that's really strange. There's a single tree with a skull being like, hello, remember me? And
Hey, it could have been worse. You could have seen that lady again.
Well, we were looking for her, basically. But we got the skull.
What I wouldn't do to know the story behind that lady that chased you.
Yeah, me too.
Why was she chasing you? That's what I want to know. Did she think you were her baby? Because
Yeah.
she didn't have a bald head then, so...
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it was just like a roaming... It seemed like a sort of like, my baby, or like, they killed my husband, or like, where's my cattle station, or I don't know.
Yeah, every one of those answers is so scary.
Yeah. Well, probably...
Well, the cattle station one isn't really.
Yeah, it's not
The
that
cattle
scary.
station one, look, honestly, out of all of it, what makes a lot of sense is, yes, a skull would grow out of a tree.
Right.
That makes sense.
Okay.
I really think that you are really underselling that a woman in a bonnet's chasing. Seem to be more freaked out about like, oh my God, things decompose.
I mean, that's scary in its own way. Microbes, we can't see them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's mine. Ali's got one that's fucking mental
I have
though.
to take the sheet off to tell the story because I can't see anything.
Yeah, it's like
I'm
VR in this
sorry.
thing.
I
It's
guess
hard.
I didn't think this one through properly.
What, so no one else has seen a ghost?
No, I've seen a ghost, but I've told.
No,
the
I know
story
that,
before.
but, it's
No.
just band mold theme on and some guy that was in the Philippines was like, I don't know, it could have been a mate.
There's got to be one more. If there are, call up.
I think we're not getting any more.
Damn.
We don't have any more ghost stories.
Well, yours was
Oh no, we're getting one. We're getting
sick.
Now, I bet you they're going to ring up and just be like, this is the dumbest segment.
one. Hello, can you hear us?
Hello, yes, I can.
Sick.
Okay, cool.
Hey, bruh.
What's your ghost
Tell us
story?
your story.
So back when I was a kid, I was playing cricket with my brother in the house.
I'm liking this already.
Yeah.
I
I'm
was
liking this.
bowling.
Yeah.
Pace
I
or
was in the
spin?
kitchen, the sink behind me.
Pace
he
or
was up batting, and then he just stops dead, looking, staring at me. And then as I turn around, a spatula was in the air and it just smashed into the sink.
What?
What?
Yeah.
What?
There was like all washing up was all done on the kitchen bench. There was knives and stuff there, but the spatula was like behind me and then just dropped.
What the?
Okay.
Dude, wait a sec. Wait,
Holy shit.
wait.
I
Would you-
think we beat Mislav's done to death story. He's told it so many times that I feel like I'm doing one of those challenges on the radio of how many times can you watch Toy Story? Yours is insane.
That's insane. Were you inside?
What was that?
Because you said you were playing cricket.
Yeah, it was just like at night time we were just chucking around a soft toy and just we were a bit bored.
Oh my god.
You had ADD as a kid, didn't you?
Bro, that's fucking crazy. It was just hovering.
Yeah, well, I didn't say it. I had just like turned around as it was falling and it just like smacked into the sink.
What
That
the?
scared the crap out of me. We both went charging to mum.
Oh my
I'm
god.
like,
And what did Mum say? Go back to sleep.
Yeah, what
no,
did your
no,
mum
she's
say?
all about it. Like, this place is haunted. I know it is.
Shit. Where were you living? What area?
The Central Coast.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a ghost,
Yeah.
ghost territory.
It totally is. Dude.
Ghost
So
and
what happened to
ghost.
the house? Are you still there?
No, Mum just sold it recently, but yeah, it was a
Now,
creepy
did
house.
they mention that when selling it?
No.
Of course not.
No.
Not in this market.
You
Jesus.
don't read domain enough to know the answer to that.
Dude, that is...
Man. And what? So you lived there for many years afterwards and nothing else happened?
Yeah, and the thing is, Mum, we built this house. Like, Mum built the house, like, from scratch. We bought the land, built the house and
Whoa.
everything. So, I don't know what's underneath that house.
Shit.
Wow. That's really, yeah, okay. So probably yet again the answer is another Indian burial ground, which is very odd that it is in Australia.
On the Central Coast.
Fuck. Well, that takes the cake. That's fucking
Yeah,
crazy.
thank you so much for calling in and sharing that
Legend.
story.
Cheers, bro.
Bye.
Holy shit. That one. The Central Coast is a creepy place. It doesn't...
Yeah,
it's not
isn't
a...
it?
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so creepy. Like, it
Get
does...
over the reptile park.
Never.
All right, guys. Thank
Holy
you so
shit.
much for calling in and listening to the podcast. We hope you have a great Halloween.
A spooky Halloween. It can't get spookier than that.
And make sure you snuggle up with someone before going to bed. And if you don't have anyone,
Watch
then
Joe
you
Rogan.
have bigger problems to worry about.
Sign up to the Up Late for...
Yeah, please sign up
For
to
more
the Up
company.
Late.
No, for another retelling of my ghost story. Was the skull put there by someone? We'll find out soon.
Let's be honest, we won't.